Okay, we're rolling? Okay, so we're here at the Witte Museum in San Antonio. That there is Herb, the Triceratops that I remember seeing here at the Witte Museum as a kid in the late 80s, early 90s. Like, the Witte Museum is the reason why I grew up loving dinosaurs. It wasn't just Jurassic Park, you know. I was into dinosaurs before Jurassic Park. 1 million years BC, baby. And Herb is heading up to, where's he headed?
Great Plains Dinosaur Museum and Field Station, Malta, Montana.
Montana, that one. And so, you know, this is a big part of my childhood. I mean, it's this big, beautiful, slightly inaccurate Triceratops mounting job, but he's still, you know, still lovely. And Thomas here let me know that they were sending him off to his new home, so I wanted to come down and do a quick doodle on the card. But of course, I'm just like, where can I guess I'll do it up here. I like this little guy though; it's really cute. So yeah, so I'll get Herb, Herb going here. Look at this. Okay, just get that little. Kind of doing a little bit of a not reconstruction, but like putting the flesh on his bones. Might not have enough Herb for the.
Or it could be a herd.
That is true. That is true. Could be a herd. They say.
There you go, that's safe.
Some
Is he vomiting?
No, he's got got some low-hanging shrubbery. Munch, 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 munch. That big beak. That's where the nasal cavity is. There's some debate as to where exactly the nose is.
Right up front.
Okay, well, that's close enough. Was the horns, didn't they have like a sheath of keratin or something over them, or am I thinking of something else?
No, actually they would have. So they probably would have been even longer.
So it would have been keratin over bone?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, that's what we found out when we were at the Houston Sugarland Museum. Was they were telling us that the stegosaurs, the plates on stegosaurs, were super big and pointy on top of the plates that were already there. And they probably had these big cheeks, right, Thomas?
Actually, there's this idea that maybe they weren't as big as people like to think they were.
Well, I'll split the difference. Bring it back a little bit. A little more like a crocodile mouth.
And less like a hamster?
I think that's adorable, giving them big cheeks. And then, okay, the jaw goes about that.
Did they regurgitate and rechew their food, or did they just gulp down a whole bunch like elephants and just try to get out as much nutrition as they could?
So they probably were doing much like elephants, I think. These are one of the few groups of dinosaurs that probably did chew, but it's very much a shearing action, back and up and down, really no side-to-side motion.
Okay.
So they were processing the food, but again, at something the size of an elephant, they're probably trying to get as much food in one setting, and we're constantly searching for that next.
Yeah.
Also, like elephants, they spend like 16 hours a day eating food?
Absolutely. So they probably had a really large gut. Unlike, were they regurgitating and chewing like cows do today, would chew their cud? Probably not. That would suggest you having multiple stomachs, and that probably wasn't happening with this.
One thing I've been trying to get away from, but it's still a force of habit, is shrink wrapping dinosaurs and making them like look like they just got a light layer of skin over there.
Now, for folks that don't know what you're talking about, explain that, or I can while you're drawing, since you've told me so often.
Well, I'll just say it. Shrink wrapping is where a dinosaur, it's like there's no meat on their bones, and it's because, when a lot of the stuff gets dug up, the first inclination is, well, we're going to put skin over it and just enough muscle, because it's hard to imagine sometimes how much skin and bone is actually on the body, because that stuff doesn't fossilize.
Like, think if somebody found Peter Griffith's skeleton and redrew him, you think they'd make him that chunky?
Yeah, well, that's funny because there is an episode of Family Guy where it's like Peter talking about giving his body to science, and he's just got this. They drew this weird skeleton with weird Peter proportions, so that's how you can tell it's him. Quick question, Thomas. Now, usually Triceratops is depicted by having bony, almost scutes or spurs around the rim of its frill. Is that accurate?
No, it's not.
Oh,
Now, no.
They didn't have that ornamentation.
Well, they did.
Oh.
When they're younger.
And they lost it?
And by the time they get older, they're absorbed into the rest of the frill.
Oh, that's
So
weird.
if you go into the dinosaur lab, we
Uh-huh.
have a juvenile Triceratops skull on exhibit there, and you will notice there are those little triangular bones around the frill. And that's, again, another example of it's a juvenile or a subadult.
Wow.
But as they get mature, that gets absorbed into the rest of that frill. And so they're basically losing the shape. The bone is still there, it's just now it's all part of the one large piece.
Do you
So-
think that would be like in some other species, so the males of the species wouldn't be aggressive and see them as a threat because they're still adolescents? Or was it more about communication in another sense?
Well, it's more likely, and Triceratops is one of the few dinosaurs that we actually have an incredible fossil record that goes all the way from really small, young individuals through juveniles, through teenagers, through subadults to adults, that we can look and see how the skull really changes through time. And so it becomes one of those things where we believe it's just a natural process of how they grow up and how they compete within each other, but also probably most likely identifying each other in these different stages.
The 5th or the 6th? What's the date?
Today is the 6th.
Okay, good to know.
You might want to print your name underneath that since, signatures.
Okay, I got an idea. I'll say,
Just like a little message or something.
yeah. Happy trails, you beautiful lizard cow. Matt Frank.
That's crazy. That's cool. Where's he going? Where's he going? Yeah. So Herb is not Triceratops as a species is not a Texas dinosaur.
I could sit here and fuss with this for another half hour, but
No, my arms are killing me.
okay,
We're
well
at 8
that's
minutes
that's
now.
good enough. That's good enough. Yay!
And he's going to be the first skeleton.
Not as spiky as I was
Basically,
expecting.
hopefully inspire
I'm sitting here wanting to put spikes and stuff on it.
people of all ages
Close us out.
about paleontology.
Well, happy trails, Herb. Thank you for all the memories. I'm gonna go dig through my dinosaur photos from when I was a kid now.